It's Saturday, and that is my favorite day because we are able to go through, we are able to hop in a fantasy football draft as if we don't do this every single day. We're going to be hopping in Best Ball Mania. Y'all know the drill. One Best Ball Mania, then afterwards, hopefully we'll get in a weekly winners. Best Ball Mania, the largest tournament on Underdog, $25 buy-in, $15 million prize pool. $3 million for first place, $1 million for second, some crazy regular season prizes as well. Hell, I don't care about that regular season prize. Someone else could take first place in the regular season as long as I'm getting first place in that fantasy football playoff tournament, coming away with the $3 million here. So we are in. Draft starts in 56 seconds, and we are going to be at pick 9. Let's make this work. Let's make it happen, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for everybody coming out and hanging out with us today. Really appreciate y'all. And Charles says, who didn't drop a like? Yes, good question. If you have not dropped a like on this live stream yet, if you are not subscribed to the channel, fix your life, go down there, hit that like button. Nobody else is live streaming every single day until 2024. Hell, we haven't missed a day since April. We'll not miss a day until 2024. And if you want to get in one of these drafts with us on the live stream, whether that's today, tomorrow, next month, doesn't matter. We will be drafting on Underdog Fantasy Best Ball, so there's no time commitment at all during the year. So I drafted 700 teams, won $150,000 last season. And if you want to sign up with promo code FLOCK, they're going to match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to 100. So it's pretty much free for you to check out. And also with promo code FLOCK, you'll get my 2023 fantasy football rankings and a free trial to flockfantasy.com. Here is everywhere Underdog is available. Your state's in yellow has Underdog, so pretty much everywhere. Also everywhere in Canada but Ontario. But we got Jeep Guy in here. Happy to see you, my man. Happy to see you. And yeah, let's get this going. Happy to see Matthew out here as well, my man. Thank you. And Ryan's facts only, right? Al in here at pick 11 with us. All right, Al. We'll see this happen. GBD 12 in here with us at pick 5. Molsos Solstice in here at 7. Yeah, so we're going up. Tommy Knows in here at 2. Damn Jody in here at 6, saying it's his lucky number. We'll see, my man. We'll see. DeMarcus in here at 12. Happy to have you, my man. Happy to have you. So yeah, we have a few members of the flock going up against us here. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. Okay. AJ Brown goes 7. See what Rex says. He goes Lamb, so we are going to have a Travis Kelce build here. Getting a little weird. Y'all know, generally, I'm not drafting a lot of Travis Kelce in these, but hell, if he makes it to us to pick 9 and you already have A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb off the board, we will go Kelce, and we'll get a celebratory sparkling water going here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this going. This is Waterloo Orange Vanilla. Ooh. Okay, let's see. Yes, and I cannot wait for the season to start either, my friend. Rex says, Kelce at 9 is nice. Yeah, I mean, I think that this is where we've had Kelce ranked all offseason, is pick 9. I mean, I thought that we would never be able to draft Travis Kelce with us ranking him at pick 9 because remember when these contests first opened, Travis Kelce was going at pretty much pick 3, 4, 5 in every draft. But hell, if he's going to fall down to 9, very similar to how I never thought we would draft Bijan Robinson, because Bijan Robinson used to go 4, 5, and 6, and now Bijan Robinson falling to the 1-2 turn. All of a sudden, I'll be drafting Kelce. I'll be drafting Bijan Robinson if this is their price point. Jeep Guy says CMC and Kelce back-to-back streams. Yes, we're getting a little different here. We'll make it work. Now, let's swing this back around. DeMarcus on the clock after going Bijan Robinson round 1. Wilson goes pick 13. Definitely would have taken Garrett Wilson if he would have made it to us, right? Al on the clock. Al took Amon-Ra St. Brown to pick 11. Goes Devontae Adams at 14. I definitely would have taken Devontae Adams if he would have made it to us. So it is what it is. This team decided to go Austin Eckler round 1. I wonder if we get a Nick Chubb selection here. They go Pollard. Very interesting. We're going to take Jalen Waddle. I feel like once we go Kelce round 1, we're definitely going to be looking at wide receiver round 2 if we can. I actually do prefer Jonathan Taylor as well as Saquon Barkley over Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb generally not in play for me with this selection. But yeah, let's go Kelsey, Waddle out the game. We'll see if we can make it work. Okay. Awesome guy says, was hoping to get Wilson. Ooh. Yeah, I think this Kelsey build will be interesting. I mean, if, say, Waddle would have gone at pick 15, we most likely would have gone Jonathan Taylor there at pick 16. And I felt like it would have been a little bit more difficult to make the team work, right? If you go Kelsey, JT out the gate rather than Kelsey, Waddle. But I think we should be able to make this work. Now, Mahomes goes 21. Now, if Mahomes would have made it to us at pick 33, obviously would have been jumping up and down with joy, but it's just unrealistic to assume you're ever going to get Patrick Mahomes making it to late round 3. Now, Jacobs goes pick 23. Saquon falls all the way to 22 here. Okay. Top G says, where should Pollard usually fall? Was him at the 203 back? But yeah, generally you're not seeing Tony Pollard go this high. I mean, I think it makes sense for some people if they wanted to take Tony Pollard here because there won't be too many builds in Best Ball Mania that have Austin Eckler and Tony Pollard attached together, generally with Eckler going at the 1-2 turn and Pollard going at the 2-3 turn. So I definitely not take Tony Pollard over Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, or maybe even Nick Chubb if you're playing in like a regular fantasy football league. But here, considering the fact that, I mean, you also want to be taking into consideration unique starts out the gate. I mean, it is going to be a unique start if you're going to go ahead and take Eckler or Pollard. So I don't want to say it's bad. I mean, it's just I think people are doing it for a different reason. Okay. So now let's see. GBD 12 goes Jalen Hurts. Yeah, you have to go Jalen Hurts if you're them, right? They go Tyreek Hill, Devonta Smith in the 1-2. I mean, the first and second round. Now they go Jalen Hurts mid-round 3. You kind of have to. Okay. Amari off the board at 30. M. Sauls goes DK Metcalf. Metcalf definitely would have been our pick if he would have made it to us. Now Lamar off the board there. I think we're kind of forced to go ahead and take Breece Hall. Now, obviously, the question, and I don't want to say the controversy, but like the reason that Breece Hall is going to be falling in these drafts is just based around the rumors that Dalvin Cook is going to be a New York Jet. And obviously, if Dalvin Cook goes to New York, Breece Hall here at pick 33 is no bueno. Yeah, Henry's saying Hall falling because of Jets possibly landing Cook, 100%. And if this were to happen, we can say we should not take Breece Hall here at pick 33. Now, if Dalvin instead, say, goes to Miami and all of a sudden, I mean, Breece Hall looks like he's in the clear and he looks like he's good for week 1, I do think you could see a world where Breece Hall slides up to being in like a late second, early third round pick by the time we get to the start of the season. So I'm still going to go ahead and we're going to take Breece Hall there at 33. Like the guys that go directly after are Keenan Allen, Calvin Ridley. I'm not sitting here kicking myself that we don't get Keenan Allen, Calvin Ridley here. Okay. Now we have Debo, Najee, Christian Watson, Gibbs, Jerry, Judy, Terry McLaurin is the best guys available. Burrow's not going to be in play for me since we don't have Higgins. We don't have Tyreek. Okay, this is the team that goes Eckler, Pollard, Keenan. So it looks like they're setting themselves up for the Los Angeles Chargers stack here. Okay. Let's see. It looks like people are taking a while on the clock today. Debo goes, definitely not great for us. I would have loved having Debo Samuel make it to us in round 4. Nonetheless, we're definitely wanting to take a wide receiver here in round 4 when we only have one wide receiver through the first 3 rounds with Jalen Waddle. So we'll go ahead. We'll take Christian Watson at pick 40. So tight end, we have Kelsey. Wide receiver, we have Waddle, Christian Watson. Running back, we have Breece Hall. So a very balanced start out the gate. I mean, if we were to go through and maybe take anything back, I don't necessarily think we do anything differently. Like if we would have gone with the wide receiver instead of Breece Hall, we would have taken Debo Samuel. So maybe, would y'all, okay, let me know this. Please, everybody spam the chat. I need your help with this one. We have over 350 people here. So if we can get 300 messages, that'd be awesome. Would you rather have the combination of Jonathan Taylor, Debo Samuel? Because if I would have passed on Waddle, I would have gone JT. And if I would have passed on Hall, I would have gone Debo. So would you rather have Jonathan Taylor, Debo Samuel, or Jalen Waddle, Breece Hall? So Taylor, Debo, or Waddle, Hall? Taylor, Debo, Waddle, Hall. Finn says he would rather have Jonathan Taylor Debo. We got a vote for Hall and Waddle, Hall and Waddle, Hall and Waddle. Taylor Debo, Hall. So it looks like most people are taking Breece Hall. Tommy knows in here for Taylor, but it looks like most people are going Waddle and Hall. I can't talk whenever we're trying to read all those messages, but nonetheless, happy to see you out, April. Now we have Burrow off the board there at 48 for the Higgins team. Very interesting team that you have there at pick 1. Wide receiver, Jefferson Higgins. Running back, Henry. Quarterback, Burrow paired up with Higgins. And then tight end correlating with Justin Jefferson there as well, with TJ Hawkinson and Jefferson together. All right, let's swing this back around. Aaron Jones off the board at 53. Chief says he would actually rather have Waddle and Debo. Interesting. Okay. Now let's see. Damn Jody on the clock has Chubb, Gibbs, Diggs. They go Mixon. So the question is, do we take Herbert here? Obviously, the team after us is probably going to be a little upset when they have Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen. We don't have a Los Angeles Charger, but at the same time, none of these other players really stand out to us at this pick. So we're probably going to mix it up. We're going to go with Justin Herbert. We don't have Mike Williams. We don't have Keenan Allen. We don't have Austin Eckler. But we do have the ability to take Quentin Johnston a little later on. So we'll mix it up. We'll go Justin Herbert here at pick 57. This will allow us to only have to take 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends, so that we can go ahead and grab 6 running backs and 8 wide receivers if we really like. So yeah, let's do it. And then Tommy No says, how do y'all like that chicken play? I knew I should have probably went, but we went DJ and Field. So there, Tommy Knows has DJ Moore, Justin Fields stacked at the 4-5 turn. So wide receiver Chase, DJ Moore, running back Jacobs, Ramadre, and then Fields stacked up with I really like the idea of stacking DJ Moore, Justin Fields at the 4-5 turn. I think it's a much better price tag than a lot of people were taking at the 3-4 turn earlier this offseason. Obviously, the thing is to set yourself up with that potential, you have to go ahead and you have to pass on Josh Allen. You have to pass on Jalen Hurts there at the beginning of the third, which if you're fine doing, I mean, obviously it works out for you. But yes, I'm sorry for C. McCone, where we take Justin Herbert and snipe him. I apologize. Definitely not a nice thing for us to do. But do we go Pittman here? I've just taken too much Pittman, to be honest. We probably go ahead and take Miles Sanders because if we look at the player props on Underdog, I know we've shown this time and time again, but nonetheless, it does make me a little worried about taking Michael Pittman. Like, let's swing this around just so y'all can see it. Is if you go through and look at some of these wide receivers, they have Michael Pittman for 800 receiving yards. They have Sutton for 725, and they have for Cortland Sutton for more receiving touchdowns than Michael Pittman. If you're looking at their line for Miles Sanders, they have Miles Sanders at about 6.5 total touchdowns. They have Miles Sanders for a little over 900 rushing yards. So, I don't know. I mean, I think you make an argument for a couple different ways. If we were to have gone with the wide receiver, I'm probably not taking Lockett. I know a lot of smart people are taking Lockett over Pittman. I'm not smart enough to do so. So I don't know. Henry says, you won't take unstacked Burrow, but have no problem taking unstacked Herbert. I won't take unstacked Burrow significantly ahead of ADP. If Burrow would have made it to us at pick 57, I would have taken Burrow. But another thing is when we take unstacked Herbert here at pick 57, we set ourselves up with the ability to go Quentin Johnston at pick 81. So it's not like we take Herbert here and then we commit to an unstacked Herbert the entire time. And there's a big difference between taking an unstacked Joe Burrow at pick 40 versus an unstacked Herbert at pick 57 when we still have the ability to grab another option in his offense later on. Okay. Yeah, there's a big difference there, my friend. Okay, so let's swing this back around. Very balanced start so far. So tight end, we have Kelsey. Quarterback, we have Herbert. Running back, we have Hall and Sanders. Wide receiver, we have Waddle and Watson. I really wish I had an answer for you on this one, my friend. I would imagine that we did very well in the private drafts just because I think people draft private. I think we have a significant edge in private drafts just because people go about them the wrong way. And I kind of know how to optimize for the private drafts. I don't have the breakdown with our profits in private drafts. I just know how much we spent on underdog drafts last year, how much we advanced in the tournaments, and what we ended up making. Aiden says, what's your Christian Watson ownership? I feel like we have a decent amount of... I don't have my phone on me, so I can't check. I feel like I have a decent amount of Christian Watson because if y'all remember, when he was going at the 4-5 turn, like we were screaming that Christian Watson was the best wide receiver in that tier. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We will get Quentin Johnston now to stack up with Justin Herbert, so I think that works out pretty much perfectly for us here. Yeah, I really like our decision to take Justin Herbert and then also pass on Michael Pittman now. I really like what we did there in rounds 5 and 6. Obviously, if Johnston wouldn't have made it to us, it would have been a little bit tougher. But I don't know. Hayes says, did you play in the Austin Eckler poker tournament earlier today? I got to see it. I honestly had no idea there was an Austin Eckler poker tournament, my friend. Here's what I did today. Today, I woke up, went and picked my mom up from the airport. She's visiting this weekend. Then I went to Costco. Well, then I recorded a video. Then I went to Costco. Then I watched a little Game of Thrones, and now I'm live streaming here. I had no idea that there was a poker tournament with Austin Eckler. Okay. Teddy says, is there a reason why you wanted to stack Kelsey with Patrick Mahomes? I would if Patrick Mahomes made it to us in round 3. If Mahomes would have made it to us in round 3, I would have been very excited to take Patrick Mahomes there. Okay, Zay Flowers off the board. I'm actually going to go ahead and take Dalvin Cook with this selection. I mean, with Dalvin Cook here, pick 88, I understand that there is an extremely wide range of outcomes. Like, Dalvin Cook may literally just be nothing with this pick, right? Like, Dalvin Cook could end up being the worst pick in the draft, and 6 months from now, we could be looking back and laughing, going, oh my God, I can't believe people were drafting Dalvin Cook at all. But at the same time, he could go over to Miami. It's not likely, but it's a possibility. And if that were to occur, he would skyrocket up these drafts. And I know we've said this a million times now, and y'all are probably tired of hearing me talk about it, but it's how you have to attack these tournaments, and it's why I'm the only person who won multiple tournaments on Underdog last year. You draft as if everything's going to go your way. It's a $25 buy-in. It's a $3 million first place prize, $15 million prize pool. Whenever I draft, I go, what is the best case scenario for this player, right? What is the best case scenario? Okay. Ashton says, where are you in Game of Thrones right now? Okay. So spoiler alert. If you are watching Game of Thrones or plan on watching it over the next few weeks, I'm going to need you to skip about 30 seconds ahead on this live stream or mute me for a little bit. But I believe season 6, what just happened for everybody who's watched Game of Thrones before, and I'm not going to read the live chat for a little bit. I don't want anybody spoiling anything, but Jon Snow and his sisters, not Cersei, Sansa, just reunited. So that's where we're at. Okay. Now we have Michael Thomas, Cortland Sutton off the board at 94, 95. Gibson goes 96. All right, let's swing this back around. So Tua's in play for us at quarterback, considering the fact that we have Waddle. Let's see what team took Tyreek. I think the Tyreek team maybe already passed on him. No? GBD 12 took Tyreek. They also have Jalen Hurts, so going to be interesting to see if they decide to pair up Tua with Tyreek since they took Jalen Hurts in round 3. Awesome Guy Rocks says, best episode of the whole show coming up. Okay, good, because I hated Game of Thrones, like season 4 or season 5. There was a season in there that was just like so freaking boring. Or like none of the storylines were interesting. It's getting better though. It's definitely getting better. Okay, Jamison Williams off the board, pick 100. We definitely would have been looking at Jamison Williams if he would have made it to us at 105. GBD12 does decide to take Tua to pair up with Tyreek Hill. I would have taken Tua if you would have made it to us at 105 to pair up with Waddle. I definitely would have. David Njoku off the board. That is the Deshaun Watson team there. They set up a Deshaun Watson double stacked with Elijah Moore and David Njoku and Amari Cooper. They have a triple stack. And they have Nick Chubb. Okay, so I know damn Jody's watching this, and I want to go through and look at this team and talk about why I specifically don't like going that far with stacks. And I want to also put on a massive asterisk that I easily could be wrong, and I could be an idiot as I go through and lay this out. But nonetheless, it's my opinion, and I feel for whatever reason like it's worth sharing. So yeah, let me share why I don't like that Cleveland Browns onslaught of players there. Okay, so Rex Thunder, what are they doing? They decide to go ahead and take Anthony Richardson. So we're going to take Alvin Kamara, a player that most likely is going to disappoint. But if he does turn in that 1 percentile outcome in which we're looking for, maybe he can win us $3 million. But going over to what we have with Damn Jody. So I've seen a lot of people do this, right? It makes a lot of sense. You want to build in correlation. You want to make sure that you are going ahead and stacking an offense where if Deshaun Watson goes out and he is a top 5 quarterback, top 3 quarterback, right? You know that Amari Cooper is most likely going to hit. Elijah Moore is most likely going to hit. But if we are in such a large field tournament where like week 17, you're having to go up against a couple hundred other teams and you have to have the best starting lineup, in reality, there are only so many points that can be scored by the Cleveland Browns, right? In that individual week. Say the Browns go out there and they drop 40 freaking points. Even if they drop 40 points, it's going to be damn near impossible for Nick Chubb, Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, David Njoku to all hit your starting lineup. So we're committing 5 of our first 9 picks, so 5 roster spots to one particular offense. In general, I really like going after correlation. I really like stacking offenses in these underdog drafts. But where I personally stop, specifically in these large field tournaments, is I would say it's advantageous to have the first stack. It's advantageous to have the second stacked. But once you get to the third stack, it's kind of neutral, right? Like once you add in the third player to pair up with your quarterback, it's like, okay, sure, if this guy falls way past ADP, I like the player, I like the price point, we'll go ahead and take him. But you don't want to be going out of your way in doing it. And then once we have that third guy, will I ever take a fourth? Probably not. I probably never want 5 players from an individual offense, specifically in a tournament structure like this. Personally, that's how I am. I could be wrong. Like I said, I acknowledge the fact that I'm an idiot, but that's my point of view. Now, we're going to go ahead. We're going to take Tyler Boyd. Not too much to discuss. Boyd makes it, I want to say 8 picks past ADP. We need a wide receiver. Sometimes it's as simple as that. So we have Travis Kelce at tight end. We have Justin Herbert at quarterback. Wide receiver, we have Waddle, Christian Watson, Quentin Johnston, Tyler Boyd. We have Quentin Johnston stacked up with Herbert. Running back, we have Breece Hall, Miles Sanders, Dalvin Cook, as well as Alvin Kamara. Okay. Awesome Guy Rock says, how do you feel about the NFL Sunday Ticket, Mason? Selfishly, I think it is the coolest thing ever that it's gone to YouTube TV because I think it's going to make a lot of like older people that don't watch YouTube, right? Like a lot of people that maybe play fantasy football that are like 50 or whatever that have never pulled up a YouTube app. If they're a little confused with YouTube TV and they go on to regular YouTube and they search like fantasy football, or if them going on YouTube TV to watch NFL Sunday Ticket makes them a little bit more likely to pull up regular YouTube and search fantasy football, I think maybe it helps you, boy. Maybe. So I'm actually probably going to live stream the games as well. So I actually bought Sunday Ticket. So what I'm probably going to do is, y'all know generally like Sunday morning, I'll start live streaming like 5 hours before the games and answer all questions. And then after that 5-hour live stream, I'm dead and I'm ready to just pass out and go to sleep. I may actually stay live and like just go through and kind of commentate over what's happening. I'll probably just watch Red Zone. Commentate, be like, oh crap, a great run from Breece Hall. He looks awesome, or whatever we're talking about, you know, and more so just like hang out during the games as well, which I think maybe it being on YouTube TV will make it a little bit easier for everyone. I don't know. Now we have McKinnon off 126. Darnell Mooney, 127. Do we take Rodgers, pair him up with Breece Hall here? Obviously, Breece Hall will be involved as a pass catcher. Okay. We'll see. Rex goes Gallup. I feel like we have a very well-balanced team. I mean, all these tight ends are about the same. One of these guys would make it on the way back around. In terms of looking at the quarterbacks, let's just take Rodgers. I mean, kind of is what it is. We know we can't pass on Rodgers and get him on the way back around, considering the fact that this is the Garrett Wilson team at 13. We can assume that they would most likely go Aaron Rodgers if Rodgers were at that point to fall about 8 picks after ADP to them. Assume if you have Garrett Wilson and you can take Rodgers 8 picks after ADP, you kind of have to. So we'll take Rodgers, get some slight correlation in with Breece Hall. We can target Tyler Conklin at the very end of this draft if we really want. Jeep guys says, can't wait for Lance to slay the Steelers week 1-0. Would love it. Would love it. Ross Gred says, the price for NFL ticket is insane. How many of y'all got NFL ticket versus like will illegally stream it? Like I really don't have any experience like illegally streaming stuff. I know some people do it. I'm just always afraid that something's going to happen with my computer. And also I can get Sunday ticket and I can tax deduct it, you know, and say, oh, hey, this is my job. I need Sunday ticket. Okay. So Thielen goes, Schultz or Rondale Moore. What tight ends will be on the way back around? You know what? We probably want Gerald Everett if all else is equal. So if we can pass on Schultz here for Rondale Moore, even if I actually prefer Dalton Schultz over Moore, just so we can set ourselves up with the ability to take Gerald Everett a little later on, it makes sense. Okay, but Elijah says they shut down StreamE, so I'm assuming maybe that's like a legal streaming site people used to use. I just buy digital receivers for my TV in my living room and watch whatever games pop up on the local channels. It's just going over my head. Illegal stream exclusively. So one thing I'm kind of, I don't want to say hoping for, but if there's a lot of people like illegally streaming the game and they're on like a delay, right? So say like there's a 5-second delay between what I say on YouTube and what goes through to y'all's phone, like if I'm commentating. Which honestly, it's not even a 5-second delay. Like if I have my phone here, it's unbelievable. Okay, let me just a quick side note. I know people think there's a big delay on the live stream, but there's not really. Like if I had my phone, I'd show y'all, but I can pull up the live stream on my phone and watch it from a different account and say like testing, 1, 2, 3. And 1 to 2 seconds later, it will go through the phone. It's like a 2 to 3 second delay, maybe 5 seconds. So what I'm thinking is if there are like a lot of people like illegally streaming it and they're on like a 5-second delay streaming it versus me, it can be like pretty damn close to like live commentary. I don't know. Now, we have a bunch of tight ends off the board. So like we said, we are looking at Everett, so it doesn't really impact us too much. Donovan Peoples-Jones goes 146. Mingo falling. I mean, we actually have a wide receiver video coming out tomorrow where I talk about all the wide receivers falling into fantasy drafts right now. And Jonathan Mingo is one of those guys that is falling pretty damn far, to be honest. And y'all know I haven't drafted a lot of Jonathan Mingo, so it should make me feel good, right? But at the same time, the reason why he is falling is the DeAndre Hopkins rumors. And if Hopkins goes over to Carolina, not great for us. I've drafted a lot of Chark. I've drafted a decent amount of Thielen. I've drafted so much Hayden Hurst. And we have a tweet that went viral, me like laughing at Panthers fans going, y'all really think you have a shot at Hopkins? It looks like they're maybe getting Hopkins. Okay, Tyler Algier off the board, 150. Okay, these teams are a little light on running back. I'd imagine maybe we see some running backs go off the board here. Alec Pierce, 151. That's a little bit of a surprise. This team's not afraid to go out there and grab a couple of rookies. They have Condre Miller. They have Anthony Richardson. They go Osborne. We'll take Mingo. Y'all know I'm not a big Mingo guy. Y'all know we've been throwing dirt on the Mingo grave pretty much since he was drafted. But the same time, we already made a bet with this Carolina Panthers offense by taking Miles Sanders. Jonathan Mingo, ADP 139. And we're getting him here at 153. We're drafting over 700 teams, so we have to be diversified a bit. Mile High Magic says, who's getting Hopkins? I saw Hopkins tweet something out, like him being in South Carolina. Let me know, where do you think DeAndre Hopkins is going? Can everybody please spam the chat? Where do you think DeAndre Hopkins is going? Okay, Pats, KC, Tennessee. Pats, Tennessee. Looks like nobody's really going with Carolina. KC or Bills, Tennessee, Pats. Looks like most people are saying the New England Patriots. Really interesting. Okay, Sam Laporta goes. Yeah, for me, selfishly, I drafted a lot of DeAndre Hopkins before he was cut. So what I'm really hoping for, also the fact that I've avoided Kadarius Toney like the plague. I've avoided Travis Kelce primarily. Obviously, if he makes it to us a pick 9, we'll go ahead and take him. But Hopkins to Kansas City would be beautiful for me. Like that's best case scenario. Hopkins to Kansas City would be awesome. But not likely. And then, of course, real quick, if you have not done so already, go down there, drop a like on this live stream. If we hit 350 likes in the stream, we'll fire up another draft after this one. And, of course, if you want to get into our next draft, you can find the link to Underdog Fantasy, where we are drafting every single day until the season starts. Plus, that's where they have all these cool player props. You can find that link in the live chat, the description, or the comment section. If you sign up for Underdog with promo code FLOCK, they're going to match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. Plus, you'll get our 2023 fantasy football rankings, as well as a free trial to flockfantasy.com. Okay, now Kenny Pickett off the board, 167. Oh, and I forgot to tell y'all as well. So, I'll be super brief with this. I know we were talking about me setting up the other YouTube channel, and I'm going through and just like giving Ironman updates, like my training updates. Nothing to do with fantasy football. It's just more like a personal journal for me, if anything. And if you aren't interested, trust me, I do not blame you. It's probably going to be very boring, and you most likely should not check it out. But for the few people that will be interested, you could probably search it on YouTube right now, Mason Dodd Ironman. I'll search it and see if anything pops up, and if it does, I'll send y'all the link. Okay, it did pop up. Yeah, I'll grab the link and send it just in case anybody cares. Okay. Okay, that's in the live chat. Like I said, 99.9999% of y'all will not care about that, and I'm not saying you should care about it. Trust me, if I were you, don't blame me at all for not caring. But just if anybody does. Charles says 3 views in 4 hours. Yes, that is the one, my friend. Okay. Now, Brock Purdy off the board at 174. Kenneth Gainwell, 175. There's some merit in going ahead and taking another tight end and going with 3 tight ends, even with the Kelce build. On the surface, it makes literally no sense, right? Like, and nobody should ever do it. But if you think through the fact that in this entire tournament, no Kelce team is really going to be taking 3 tight ends. Everybody's pretty much just going to be banking on Kelce to get them through the entire season. What may end up happening is if like Travis Kelce misses like 6 to 8 weeks or 6 to 10 weeks early on at the beginning of the year, and nobody else is able to make it through because everybody else is just like us and they only take Gerald Everett, then maybe we are better off taking another tight end, because if we are able to sneak an injured Travis Kelce team through where he gives us the elite level ceiling in weeks 15, 16, and 17, and we're one of the only teams with Kelce, you can do some mental gymnastics and convince yourself that it's not the worst idea in the world to take a third tight end. But more times than not, you shun it. Matthias coming out with the donation. Thank you, my friend. Says 12-team at PPR Superflex keeper. Locked in Burrow in the 6th, London in the 7th, Jameson in the 13th, or Dotson in the 15th at wide receiver. Taylor in the 1st or Pierce in the 10th at running back. Thanks. Okay, so if you're going to be keeping 5 players, generally I'm not too concerned with the keeper cost. Like I most likely would go Taylor in the 1st unless you're going to have a high first-round pick and you are mapping it out and you think you're going to be able to get a player like Jahmyr Gibbs that you're very excited about. But even then, you have to ask yourself, would I rather have like Jahmyr Gibbs, Dameon Pierce, or Jonathan Taylor? And more times than not, you'd probably rather have Jonathan Taylor. And then if we're going to be looking at Dotson versus Jameson Williams, I honestly don't even care about the keeper cost. If it's going to be like past round 10, I'm just going to go with whatever player I prefer. And I honestly prefer Jahan Dotson over Jameson Williams. So I will go Dotson there, my friend, but thank you. Now, Renfro off the board there at 183 now. Trying to figure out what we should be doing with this next pick. I don't exactly know, if I'm to be honest. We're going to mix it up. Maybe we can do some mental gymnastics and say the same thing with like Justin Herbert teams, where when you take Herbert, more times than not, you only want to be taking a total of 2 quarterbacks. But if Herbert were to miss some time at the beginning of the year, we can sneak a Justin Herbert team through. I don't know. In reality, it's just like Bryce Young versus Khalil Shakir. How bad is it going to be to take another quarterback here in round 16? We have Sanders. We have Jonathan Mingo. It's not ideal, but I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. And I think there can be a few different outcomes where it makes sense, maybe making a decision that's slightly suboptimal from a median projection standpoint to give yourself a unique outcome. Now, Tommy Knows coming out with the donation says, you had a recent video about running backs dropping me that reminded Rivera was on a radio show specifically talking about designing pass plays for Brian Robinson. I know it's hard to tell, but it kind of sounded serious. That's very interesting, my man. Thank you for letting me know. I'd say in general, I really do like the Brian Robinson price tag. Like in this draft, he goes after Sky Moore. I mean, he goes right before Odell Beckham Jr., Romeo Doubs. So I definitely think Brian Robinson is being undersold at his current cost. And that honestly makes me a little more bullish on Brian Robinson. But thank you always for hanging out with us in this live stream, my friend. Let's swing this back around. And we are 80 likes away from hitting 350 likes and firing up another draft after this one. So let's swing this around. And obviously, once we go Bryce Young, I mean, there's absolutely a 0% chance we could even take another tight end with this Kelce build. We are going to be going one more running back and one more wide receiver. So it just depends who makes it to us at the 17-18 turn. Excavator says, do the Browns have the money to sign Hopkins? If they do, they are a major sleeper to get. In my mind, of course, I don't know enough about the NFL salary cap, so I'm talking out of my ass. But I feel like it's never a true limitation as does this team have the money? I kind of always view it as they'll make it work. They'll figure it out a way to find the money, if that makes sense. And yeah, I think that Watson to Cleveland would make so much sense. Okay, so let's swing this back around. A decent amount of rookies on this team. We have Bryce Young, Quentin Johnston, Jonathan Mingo. It's not too many. Okay. Hayden Hurst off. So we want Hyatt. We do have Paris Campbell. We also have Rodgers to set up with the McCall. We're going to go McCole Hardman. We'll go McCole Hardman as our last wide receiver here, and then we're going to be taking one more running back. You'll know generally I'm looking at these free agent guys, but it looks like it's a little scary that we may just be lighting money on fire doing this. It is a real concern that with all the teams I've taken, Leonard Fournette, Kareem Hunt, round 17 and 18, I may legitimately just be lighting money on fire. Okay. Let's move this down. So quarterback with this team, we have Herbert stacked with Quentin Johnston as well as Gerald Everett. We have Rodgers stacked with Breece Hall as well as Jonathan Mingo. We have Bryce Young stacked with, we have Rodgers stacked up with Breece Hall and McCole Hardman. We have Bryce Young stacked up with Jonathan Mingo and Miles Sanders. Wide receiver, we have Waddle, Christian Watson, Quentin Johnston, Tyler Boyd, Rondell Moore, Jonathan Mingo, Paris Campbell, McCole Hardman. Running back, we have Breece Hall, Miles Sanders, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara. So, weird team, don't love it. I'd put it that way. Weird team, don't love it. Okay, everybody spam the chat. Who would you rather have? Would you rather have Pierre Strong or Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Spam the chat. Whatever y'all want, that's what we're doing. Whatever y'all want, that's what we're doing. Okay. CEH, Strong, CEH. Neither, Strong, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Strong, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Clyde Edwards. It was back and forth. Now it looks like maybe we have a few more. I don't know. It's like literally 50-50. But Tony Shaw, welcome to being a flocker. Happy to have you, my man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, let's show off this team. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. Sadly, does not look like we're getting to 350 likes in this live stream, and we have like 3 minutes left and 50 likes to go. I mean, now you can go down there. We can see if we can hit it real quick, but regardless, we'll be live tomorrow. We'll be live the next day, the day after that. And of course, we'll be drafting on Underdog Fantasy. If you want to get in a draft with us, or if you want to go check out any of those player props, find the link to both of those places. It's the same place. In the live chat, in the description, in the comment section. Promo code FLOCK, 100% deposit match, our 2023 fantasy football rankings. A free trial to flockfantasy.com. Also, if you enjoy these live streams, which we are doing every single day, will not miss a day until 2024, that is by far and away the best way to support. But thank you so much for everybody coming and hanging out with us. Really appreciate y'all, and we'll see y'all in the live stream tomorrow.